that might mean lying down on the floor or your bed or the couch. It might mean sitting on the floor, your bed, or your couch. Give yourself permission to get as comfortable as your body will allow. Once you've found a position that works for you, then do a gentle scan of your body from the crown of your head all the way down to your feet, and just see if there's tension that you can let go of. So maybe you're holding your shoulders up and you can just let them be heavy. Or maybe your jaw is tight and you can allow that to release. You might even notice like tightening around your eyes or other places in your face, in your scalp. Do that gentle scan and release and let go as much as possible. And then whether you are sitting or lying down, allow the ground or your bed or your chair or your couch, whatever you're on right now, allow it to support you. So in other words, you can be heavy. So if you are sitting, you're keeping, strong posture, but you're still just kind of letting yourself be heavy. So you don't have to cave in your chest, but you just aren't holding on. You're just letting go more. You're letting yourself be supported. And then when the time feels right, begin to shift your attention to your breathing. You can breathe in through your nose or your mouth and out through your nose or your mouth. Doesn't really matter. The goal here is simply just to extend your inhales and your exhales a bit. So make them a little longer than usual. Then decide what to do with your hands. So you might notice that you want to bring your hands to the space above your belly button, your solar plexus. Maybe you stack your hands there. That feels good today. Maybe you want one hand there and one hand on your heart. Maybe it would feel good to have both palms down on your thighs. Maybe it would feel good to have both palms up on your thighs. Don't think too much about it, just whatever feels naturally good, and give yourself permission to change your position at any point during this. So pick one for now that feels good. And if your hands are on your thighs, make sure your elbows aren't out too far in front of you. Instead, pull them back so they're right below your shoulders. This just helps keep your chest open instead of caving in. And then once again, bring your attention back to your breathing. Your only goal, it's simple yet powerful, and that is to be aware of your breath and to make your inhales and exhales a bit longer than you usually do. Now, inevitably, you're going to find yourself not aware of your breath, thinking about something else. That's a natural part of this process. So when that happens, the practice is simply to notice it and then bring your awareness back to your breath. It doesn't matter how long you were unaware of your breath, and there's absolutely no need to beat yourself up, because that's the practice. The practice isn't to sit here and be aware of our breath forevermore. The practice is to notice when we're not and to bring it back. And that practice is how we train anything. So as you continue to breathe deeply, I'm going to tell you how I trained my posture. It was the same idea. It was noticing all the times I had poor posture and correcting it. And prior to having stronger, more functional posture, I had really bad posture and I didn't realize it. And then I started Pilates and it helped me increase my body awareness. And then I started to realize all the times I was out of functional, good, strong posture, and I was able to correct it. And then the more times I corrected it, the more my awareness grew and the more natural it was for me to have strong posture instead of poor posture. So the practice isn't being perfect. The practice is simply increasing our awareness of when something is dysfunctional and when something's functional, and noticing when it's dysfunctional and just bringing it back to function. Now you can use that same principle for your thought processes. So there's a lot going on right now. And sitting still is courageous, especially during these times when there's so much upheaval, because it's likely that you're not just feeling peace right now. When we sit still, we also become present with our anxiety, right? So if you're noticing that you're not doing this wrong, you're doing it right. We can, of course, use our breath as a tool for presence. So that simply means, well, I'll put it this way, whenever we are aware of our breath, we must be present in the current moment, which helps ease anxiety. So that's one tool you can use when you feel anxiety or worry or sadness come up. And actually, that would be what I would encourage you to do first. So as you're sitting here, as you're lying here, being present with yourself, choosing to be still instead of distracted, having the courage to do that, and you notice these uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable thoughts, uncomfortable what ifs come to the surface, honor them. I see you, I hear you. But then, bring your attention back to your breath, noticing extending your inhales and exhales and noticing the flow of all that. And that in and of itself is incredibly powerful. That takes a powerful person, an aware person, to make that simple yet profound shift of, okay, I noticed the upset, I honored it even, and now I'm choosing to bring my focus back to my breath. So that may be the extent of your practice today. And if it is, that is wildly good. If you feel inspired to take this a step further, then after you notice the upset and you honor it, And after you consciously shift your awareness from that upset to your breath, if it feels right, if it doesn't feel forced, you may want to shift your thought processes to the opposite of upset. So in other words, the silver lining, the healing, the good, the positive what if, what could come out of this difficult situation. And this may be where, if you have a spiritual practice of your own, you utilize a particular prayer or entity. Maybe you see an entity such as Jesus who brings you comfort. Maybe you see him sitting next to you observing all this. Maybe you envision the world right now covered with light, or just a big bubble of light around it, just symbolizing the fact that you're willing to believe good could come out of this situation. Maybe you simply but powerfully envision yourself outside with the sun coming on, just warm, bright rays. Once again, another powerful way to symbolize I'm willing to envision the good here. So there's absolutely no right or wrong in this. It's whatever feels good and natural and in alignment with you, and how you tap into the new and good to come. And you might notice yourself doing versions of this multiple times a minute, because an upset arises, right? So then you go through the practice, you notice it, you honor it. Come back to your breath. Stay there, or move beyond to envisioning good in whatever particular way feels right to you. And then once again, you notice the upset and it's only been 5 seconds. That's okay. That's good. That's the practice. You might notice you can stay there for a few minutes. There's no right and wrong in this. The key is to not make yourself wrong. And if you are, or if you ever experience the discomfort of, for lack of a better word, boredom, almost like, when is this going to be done? That in and of itself is an upset, a discomfort, part of the process too. So we treat that the same way we treat the other ones. Notice it, honor it. Practice bringing our awareness back to our long, slow inhales and exhales. Sit in that respite as long as we want. And then if it feels right, begin the prayerful embodiment and envisioning of what could be the silver lining of this global crisis. So even boredom can be used here. Isn't that great? It's a cool thing about sitting with yourself like this. Everything can be used. Nothing is inappropriate. Nothing is unheard of. we let it all be, and then we use it for good. We use it to increase our awareness. We use it to practice presence. And then we use it for good. So it's safe and it's okay to have any feelings. It's safe and okay to have any thoughts arise. And this is your time you let them arise. So these are the thoughts and the feelings that kind of do the dirty work in the dark if we don't sit with them. We don't bring awareness to them. And then we don't show our strength in choosing what we want to do with them. Instead, if we don't do that, we can get lost in them kind of doing their dirty work without us really having a conscious awareness. So there's this power in consciously being aware of the negative thought patterns that are going on in our mind, which seems a bit contradictory, right? Like we almost feel like we can't be a positive force in the world if we have all this negative stuff going on. But actually, the most positive forces in the world are very aware of the things that hold them back, right? The things that stop them from being a part of a healing or being a part of the silver lining, being a part of a solution. And then they use that awareness to alchemize those thoughts and those feelings in order to move beyond, in order to heal. Awareness, honoring, presence, and then power. Continue this practice as long as it feels right to you. Maybe that's for another hour, or maybe that's for another 10 seconds. Whenever the time does feel right for you to bring this practice to completion, then you're going to gently blink your eyes open. You may just want to rub your palms together and notice once again where your hands want to go. They might want to go on your heart, planted on your thighs, palms up. And with your eyes open, still sitting still or lying down, just take a second to honor yourself. Honor yourself for, instead of running from what's uncomfortable with all this, sitting with it, alchemizing it. It takes immense courage. and strength and power. So sit or lie here, honoring yourself as long as it feels right. And then I encourage you to stand up with strength. Belly button to your spine, heart open, just meaning chest towards the sky a bit, shoulders not caving in, but pulling back gently with the tops of your shoulders away from your ears. And move forward with your day in peace, strength, light, and love.